everyone, Josh Hammock here for Aviation 342. This week we were asked to pick a GPS or FMS or EFB to expound upon, and I chose ForeFlight, so let's get into it. Next slide. All right, guys, so ForeFlight is an electronic flight bag. It's an integrated flight application referred to EFB. It enables the pilot to gather pre-flight information, check en route weather, along the route weather, destination, route planning, in-flight weather, traffic avoidance, terrain observation, things of that nature. So it allows you to do a plethora of different observations while in the air. So next slide. Capabilities continued. It works I think only on Apple devices, iPad or the iPhone. It also works with installed and portable avionics on various airframes. It is a subscription-based product, so you pay yearly for it. It's compatible with multiple GPS units. I believe all of them are compatible. Also compatible with multiple ADS-B units, and compatible with multiple weather products such as XM, in-flight weather. That's also subscription-based. Provides synthetic vision and AHRS capabilities as well if your primary flight instruments do go out. Next slide. All right, so this slide's showing a few of the different products ForeFlight is compatible with. ADS-B such as Century, Stratus, or Stratux. There's a few others I haven't mentioned. Provides in-flight weather, traffic, and GPS data and positioning if you do not have an iPad that has the GPS chip in it and it's Wi-Fi only. It's also compatible with the G1000. With the G1000, it allows two-way flight plan transfer. The Honeywell Apex flight management system, this is for Pilatus pilots. Also the Avidyne IFD 550, 540, and 440 flight management systems as well. Next slide. So as I said before, ForeFlight is not a GPS unit itself, but it uses an outside GPS chip, either on your iPad or on an ADS-B. So in saying that, ForeFlight is not an FAA-approved GPS replacement. It is not installed in the aircraft, but it is approved to replace paper maps and approach charts, which will decrease cockpit clutter. Next slide. So a few stats that I got off the internet was that in 2016, there were 18 descent and approach general aviation accidents caused by collisions. 8 of these 18 were fatal. There's 11 maneuvering accidents caused by structures, 23 weather accidents, and ForeFlight, as we know, provides overlays for all 3 of these causations. So it is and has been improving general aviation safety for years and will for years to come. Next slide. One such incident that I found was on April 10th, 2020. A general aviation pilot crashed into a remote area of New Mexico, and Albuquerque Center lost radar coverage of the pilot. They issued an alert, and Denver Center picked up the alert and did some digging. They couldn't find the pilot in the FAA database for some strange reason, so they contacted ForeFlight, and they got his tail number, in turn got the pilot's cell phone number, called him, and found out his location, and he was rescued. So ForeFlight was there to save the day, not in the way that we would expect, but it still did its job. Next slide. So ForeFlight, and any EFB for that matter, decreases pilot workload. It increases cockpit management by decreasing clutter, by not having all the paper charts and maps around. It can also increase your situational awareness if your GPS primary unit does go awry. It saves time and money. You can also make fuel and performance calculations in mid-air, minus the use of a calculator. And of course the AHRS capability if you do have an ADS-B equipped AHRS unit. Next slide. just to recap, for flight in any EFB, they cannot be used to replace an IFR rated GPS unit. They can only be used for situational awareness. They greatly decrease pilot workload and cockpit clutter. They're compatible with most GPS units and ADS-B units, as they provide flight, weather, traffic, and terrain avoidance. So thank you for listening. The next slide will be references. Have a great day.